Alone again, naturally. A long time ago in Finland, there was a village. Not too far away, there was a lonely little house where a man lived. This man, named Jack, was a mystery to many people in the village because they had never seen him. Marcus was a traveler who was trying to get to the village on foot, but a big storm broke out. So he saw the little house and tried to stay there until the storm was over. He knocked the door and waited for someone to answer. Marcus could hear Jack's voice asking, "Who is it? What do you want?" The traveler answered that his name was Marcus and he was looking for somewhere to stay until the storm was over. Jack opened the door and said, "Come in. You can stay here until the storm is over. Then you must leave." Marcus entered the house and thanked him. What got Marcus's attention was that the man was really skinny. They introduced. The house was simple, with no ornaments, just with enough room for only one dweller. Jack then asked the traveler if he wanted a hot drink. He accepted, and they both sat at the table and started talking. Jack told Marcus that he had some memory issues and that he could remember only a few things about his younger years. "I remember my family hated me. Everyone hated me. My brother was always the favorite one in the family." Marcus could notice that Jack had a tough life, and that was the reason why
Jack
he
started
lived
so
telling stories
isolated.
about what he remembered about his past. Marcus realized that Jack mentioned a hammer, roses, and a girl in his life stories over and over again. Marcus thought those three things could be part of a story that he couldn't remember as a whole, but it was somewhere really deep in his mind. So when the night fell, Marcus started looking around the house and everything in it. It was then that he noticed a box locked.
He
He
answered that
asked
even
Jack
he
what was
himself
in it.
couldn't remember.
As Marcus was going to bed, he thought of opening that box. He looked for a knife so that he could open it. After some tries, he opened the little box. Inside, there was a hammer. Marcus got scared, but
He wanted to
in
know
the
the truth.
morning, he didn't know what Jack would do. After he woke up, the traveler asked him straightforwardly about the hammer. Jack looked at the hammer and it seemed as if something came back to him. Jack,
I
in
once
tears,
had a
started
girlfriend,
talking, and she was the only person who really loved me. One day, I was not feeling well, but for some reason, I really wanted to see her. I brought him some roses, and when we got together, I gave them to her. I was carrying a hammer, but I didn't know why. We started walking alone in the woods at night. The only light shining was that of the oil lamp I was carrying. All of a sudden, I grabbed the hammer and tried to kill myself. She got scared and ran away. It was then that I realized I had been abandoned by the person I truly loved. That's when I left the woods and the village to isolate myself. When Jack stopped talking, Marcus concluded that this man was insane. As soon as the storm was over, Marcus grabbed his things and he was ready to leave. Jack was on his own once again. Alone again.